No doubt, Kurt Suzuki, the Nationals with veteran leadership all over their team and getting contributions from everybody last night. Welcome in, Dan Kolko, Bo Porter. Our Nats Extra pregame show is presented by PNC. Bo, the Nats get their magic number down to 5 last night with a win in a Cubs loss. They're playing good ball down in Miami. They hope to pick up this win today, sweep the Marlins, and then come back home for a big homestand with hopefully some fun stuff ahead of us.
Yes, I think the Nats are hitting their stride right on time. Again, we talk about this Washington Nationals team and them having to play meaningful games into the postseason, in which they haven't had to do in the last few years when they've won the National League East early and they've had a chance to basically coast into the postseason. I believe the fact that they're having to play these playoff-type games will loom large as they head into the postseason. If you're the Los Angeles Dodgers, this is not the team that you want to see.
No doubt about that. Last night, Bo, we showed that 10th inning. The Nationals exploded for 6 runs to get that win, but they only needed to play extra innings because the last 6 outs, as they have been for much of this season, have been tough to get for the Nationals bullpen. Steven Strasburg went 7 scoreless, but then the bullpen in the 8th inning could not hold it. This is a trend, but it's also been a trend of the Nationals to have their offense pick up the bullpen after big innings. And let's take a look at the last 2 examples of that. We remember that September 3rd game against the Mets, the 7-run 9th inning. The Nationals came back to win that game in dramatic fashion, and then last night, a 4-0 lead became a tie game going to the 10th, but a 6-run top of the 10th took the Nationals to their 2nd straight win over the Marlins. Bo, this is going to be what the Nationals are going to have to do down the stretch. They're going to have to take short leads, extend them to big leads, because the bullpen has been inconsistent, but the offense has done a nice job picking them up.
The offense has done a tremendous job picking up this bullpen, but I'll tell you this is not a trend that you want to continue if you are the Washington Nationals and you think that you're going to go deep into the postseason. When you look at the teams in which we've been able to do this against, the Phillies, the Chicago White Sox, the Kansas City Royals, the Chicago Cubs, the Miami Marlins, and the New York Mets, what do they all have in common?
They're not making the postseason.
They're not going to be in the playoffs. So when you start to think about playoff baseball and the teams in which you're going to be playing against, we're going to need to get this bullpen straightened out, and we're going to need to hold teams where they're at, whether that is holding the lead or hold them right where they're at and do not allow them to add on to their lead so that we can give our offense a chance. This is an offense that can strike fast, but the deeper you get into the postseason, the reason those teams are in the postseason is because they have good pitching and they have good bullpens.
And those outs later in games are going to be tougher to get down the course of the stretch here and into the postseason. You've got teams with really good benches, and then on the other side, you've got teams with lights-out closers. The Nationals aren't the only team to have bullpen problems, but Bo, if they're going to go where they want to go deep into October, the late-inning situations are magnified, and they're going to have to play better in them overall.
Yes, they're going to have to play better. And again, when you start to talk about those late innings, when you get into the postseason, teams that have their 4th and 5th starter, you're going to find those guys, which are better pitchers on their staff, you're going to find even having those guys in the bullpen, basically for situations late in the game where a manager feels like he needs to kill a rally, he's going to go to the best available arm he have down there. So as you look at those games in which we've been able to come back against some of those non-contenders or teams that won't be in the playoffs, that's because those teams have weaker bullpens than we would face in the postseason.